Hello, my name is Rabea Massaad. I'm here at MUCL in South Korea. I'm a musician based in the UK. I play guitar in a couple of different projects, and I also have a YouTube channel and an Instagram page where I update with my guitar playing and music. I chose to work with victoryamps because it excited me that they were a new British amplifier brand, and I have a huge respect for their chief engineer Martin Kidd, who used to design Cornford amplifiers a long time ago. So I knew that the sound of the amplifiers were great, and they also had great players using both Cornford and then Victory amplifiers such as Guthrie Govan and Richie Kotzen. So I knew that the tones were good. And when I was approached to work with Victory on the Kraken amplifier, it was a great experience because I was allowed to work with Martin Kidd closely and design something that I was really proud of. Victory have been going quite a few years now, and over the course of that time they've been developing a bunch of different amplifier families, such as the Kraken Family, Duchess, Sheriff, Jack and Copper. And within those ranges, we were able to create lots of different amplifiers and amplifier products that would suit the needs of whatever level of player you are, whether you're a touring musician, a hobbyist, or someone that just wants to jam out with their friends. One of the great things about working with Martin is our relationship between an engineer and what I would consider to be more of a producer role, in the sense that I have no idea how to explain any technicalities of sound to Martin in such a way that I just say something like, it sounds like too many bees in a tin. We need to get rid of some bees. And Martin will understand what I mean on a circuitry level and a tonal level and make those adjustments accordingly. And that was a really cool experience. So in terms of my experience with victoryamps before becoming an artist and getting on board, I had a fairly limited experience in what I'd tried. I had tried a V10 combo, which was a very cool little 10-watt combo amplifier, great for playing at home, and I enjoyed the sound of it. Then I tried the V30, which was the first lunchbox head that was made for Guthrie Govan. And of course, I'm a big fan of Guthrie, so I wanted to try the amplifier and see if it was something I enjoyed. And I enjoyed the feel of the gain and the response of the amplifier with regards to the attack of the pick and just the way it felt under the fingers. But I would say my first major experience with Victory would have been working on the Kraken amplifier and getting to explore how we could make that become my favorite amplifier. So there are 5 families in the victoryamps range currently. We have the Jack, which is described as the Jack of all trades amplifier, in the sense that you can play nice, clean, classic rock stuff all the way through to metal and lead. Then we have the Sheriff range, which is based on classic British amplifier sounds that you might hear from brands like Marshall. Super hard rock, gritty, definitely more attitude in the sound of the amplifier, and sounds great with both Les Pauls or Stratocaster style guitars. The Copper, which is based on, again, a classic vintage British voice, similar to a Vox in tone or a Matchless, in the sense that it's great for a jangly, poppy rock kind of sound, lots of pristine high end, and it's really, really nice for cleans. Then we have the Duchess, which is a classic 50s California clean style amplifier, designed to work really well with Fender style guitars or Telecaster style guitars. And also there was a massive emphasis on making sure that you could put pedals in front of the Duchess. It's also worth saying that all the amplifiers are designed to work well with pedals. However, one of the big selling features of the Duchess amplifier range was that it handled any type of pedal you wanted to put in front of it, whether it was a vintage style pedal or a modern style pedal. And then finally we have the Kraken family, which is the most modern voiced amplifier in the Victory range. It's the one that I had the most input in the design, and it's designed to be for players that like modern progressive metal, heavy rock, progressive rock, anything that needs a lot of gain and a lot of clarity. But it was also important that it catered for players that enjoy Stratocasters, Telecasters and classic tones, which is what I'm holding here. So I was very honoured to be asked to join the research and development team at Victory, and my first job with them was to design the Kraken. And I guess the goals for me with the design were that I could get everything from low to mid gain to high gain tones from it, but also I like to use two in stereo a lot, so I liked to blend both channels. So the first channel is based on more of a hard rock British sound, such as a JCM 900, and then the second channel was based on a more American high gain tone, such as a PV 5150, which are two amplifiers used by my favourite band. So it was really nice to be able to get those voices from the amplifier using two at the same time and have a very big sound. So the difference between a lunchbox amplifier such as this and a wider, louder, more powerful head such as this is purely the wattage and I guess some feature sets. In this case, the Kraken, you've got a 50 watt version and a 100 watt version. And the main difference between the two is the output. So they're not very different, just I would say this is a little louder and has a few extra tonal options. Also, the bigger amplifier has MIDI functionality, which the smaller one doesn't. So you can control this with a switcher, something like the Quad Cortex, or any kind of MIDI switching pedal. Of course, the first preference would be the Kraken, because it's the amp I know the most, but I think it would have to be a toss-up between the new Sheriff and the Copper, because the Sheriff gets really beautiful, clean and low gain tones that are suited for hard rock, but it's very, very powerful sounding amplifier, whereas the Copper is such a sweet, pristine sounding clean. Again, you can get gain from it, but it just sounds so beautiful with single coil guitars, and I like to use those a lot, so I kind of get torn between the two. I recommend Victory Amps because I truly believe that they are going to be one of the flagship, biggest British amplifier brands in the last few years. I feel like it's just a matter of time before everybody thinks about Victory and when they think about a British amplifier brand. I also believe that no other amplifier brand is really catering for this many different styles of amplifier. Usually an amplifier brand focuses on one or two different things that they're really good at, whereas Victory seem to have made a great sounding amp for so many different genres of music, and I really respect that. The future of me and Victory Amps. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying firmly planted in the Victory ranks. I love working with Victory. I love working with Martin Kidd. I feel hugely honoured to be able to have an input in the sound of the amplifiers, to be able to be one of the people to sign off the amplifiers before they are then sent out to the stores is a huge responsibility, and I'm very thankful that they were able to allow me to do that. So I think for the future it will just be more amplifier designs, more great sounds, and hopefully lots more happy people and happy ears. So this is the Kraken amplifiers that I helped design. We've got the VX and the VX100. I've got them both set up in stereo right now. So the smaller head is going into this cabinet and the bigger head is going into this cabinet. And I'm using my Quad Cortex to give me reverb and delay and some pedals in front of the amplifier. I'm also using this beautiful MUCL S Classic Superlight Strat, and it sounds amazing. So. One of my favorite features about the VX amplifiers is that although they're designed for modern players primarily, an overlooked feature that I love is the fact they sound really good for classic tones. So let me demonstrate. And then I'll switch my guitar and play something heavy. As you may have noticed, I've just changed my guitar just to demonstrate that although what you just heard were more classic and clean tones, this amplifier is designed to sound really heavy. Well, that depends if Musicians Club wants to have me come back. Therefore, I will be back in South Korea.